Memento. Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network by Cinephiles for Cinephiles. We are starting a new tour series, and we thank you for joining us. If you've gotten this far, 10 seconds into the podcast, we hope you subscribe, like, comment, and share.
And thank you for watching us this week on the WatchTower Film Podcast. Tune in next week where we get to cover The Prestige.
Nice. Also, thank you for listening to us on Spotify, Google Podcast, and wherever podcasts are enjoyed.
Did I forget that we did the episode already, or what the fuck is going on?
You ruined the bit. It was like Memento. We had the ending and the beginning, and we were going to...
What are you, fucking...
12?
I was going to say Teddy, but...
I feel like the way you get under any adult's skin is whenever they're talking to you. No. Like, whenever they're talking to you, like, dude, you're an idiot. You're not doing this. Like, hey, use your words. Like that seems to just get people raged.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
We are back.
Whoa, it's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been forever.
Fucking nuts. We've been living here. Can you see we haven't changed our fucking clothes?
I've changed.
Yeah. You've changed a lot.
You've changed a lot, yeah.
Whoa, you have
What
a hat
happened?
on.
The different hat.
Oh,
What
good for
happened?
you, buddy.
Definitely not
Wow.
The patch is
same
coming
day.
off.
The what?
The patch is coming off.
Damn, he's just cooking your
It's
shit
laundry
over
day. I don't know what to tell you. We are back starting a new series. We are covering a new tour. And before we introduce our new tour, I'd like to introduce my fellow co-host, Mr. Jean-Eric Castor, offering an acting perspective.
How you guys doing? I'm a big Nolan fan. And
What is
Wes
that?
Anderson
How
gets-
you feeling?
Everybody's gonna think, yo, those fucking Towercast guys are so smoked out every episode. Mr. Michael Liddell offering a cinematography perspective.
Yeah.
Hi.
That is all.
Great. Yeah.
Mr. Austin Young, make sure we're sounding good on the ones and twos. Cutting it up. Cutting the rug.
Over there.
Cutting up a
Us
damn
checked out on
rug.
the
Cutting
ones and
something.
twos. Keeping
All right,
me
it
from
says I
feeling
can
blue.
trust you.
What says you can trust me?
I was looking
AI?
at the picture of you.
What picture?
Wow,
Oh,
the Polaroid.
you should have gotten the Polaroid camera.
True.
I forget who that one is. What's that one? You guys got the list?
Check your notes.
I
Check
think,
your
I
notes.
think he has a name, but I
Oh.
just...
Wait.
It says curly-headed. Fuck, trust him. Okay, you're
Oh,
cool.
it's Eric. Yeah,
Oh.
You're cool.
Eric. Eric with a CK.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to spell. I think I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to read. Anyways, we got the homie Eric C.K. Nunez,
Hello.
our
Good
fellow
evening.
producer.
Good afternoon. Good night, everybody.
Oh, see you, man. Good
Hey,
shit.
we're not doing Truman Show. Hey, moron.
We already did that.
Get the right film.
Hey, let
Hey,
him
moron.
Hey, moron.
I'm so sorry. I had to. Like,
that is the face of a guilty
before-
man.
No. Like, I think we paused the film like at the very beginning, and I had been saying it just like a child learning a new word, and then I was like, wait, guys, this is where it's from. And
moron.
now it's stuck with me. It's a stupid meme.
We are back. We are here to cover the long-awaited, ever-elated, freshly masturbated,
And freshly vaccinated.
and freshly vaccinated Christopher... Sir Christopher Lauren. Right?
Lauren?
Lauren, right?
Who
It's late.
Christopher
It's
Nolan.
late.
We all remember that being the last
Austin
name.
is infatuated.
Hey, what I want to
What?
know, can we get his optimistic brother?
Christopher Yeslin?
Yeah, Christopher. Yes.
Christopher Nolan. We're here to talk about Christopher Nolan. We're going to kick this off with his directorial debut, at least for feature films.
Feature film, yeah.
2000's Memento.
Nice. That was great.
Thanks, bud. I
case you guys are wondering, we're
I've
out
only
of
been
it.
doing this
It's
for
just been a long
200
day.
episodes.
I know.
Why didn't you show off the Blu-ray, huh?
It worked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Austin went through all this trouble to
This
get that
Blu-ray
Blu-ray
is brought to you by
right
Name
there.
Soda.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
We are not yet sponsored, but here is a pro sponsor from Michael who really wants to put something up there.
When you're confused about what the film's about,
Grab a muse.
grab a muse.
Grab a muse.
You'll be amused.
Yeah.
That was great.
I never lose. On with the podcast.
I'm gonna...
Anyway, so Memento.
Sorry, audience. It's been a long day.
Greatest.
We've
yeah.
this is like a 12-hour.
What happened to Guy Pearce, bro?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like he just fell off.
Right? Like,
He never made another
big.
movie after Memento.
Like, he did a couple films, but he just never...
He's fucking like broke. I think.
He just got fucking blacklisted from Hollywood.
I don't think...
he ended up sleeping with Adrian Brody.
That's how I got back in.
No, that was
Exactly.
Sagittarius grape.
I'm going to make a comment. Full seriousness. If any of us laugh, then that's rude.
Pancake.
But this is a serious critique
Pancake.
of the film, so I can use
Of
language
which film?
language associated with the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've heard this many retards in a film.
Hey, more.
Hey, moron!
No, they just kept saying it around. It was like I just feel like that's the only part that's like aged of the script.
You could have used freak. You know, they used freak more.
No, I've heard movies say freak, but they're like, stop choking me, retard. And it just, it's been a while since I've heard that in any
Yeah, same.
sentence. Yeah.
I got the
You know
same
what?
reaction.
Didn't I hear like Shane Gillis is openly using it, like saying like it's not a bad word or whatever the fuck.
Was
Well,
it him?
doesn't
It
he
is
have
a
like
bad
family
word. What
members
do you
that
mean?
are like special?
Yeah, well, he says it nicked him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
What?
that's what he writes. He writes because he
Nicked
kind of
him?
looks like. Okay, let's keep
Let's get back to the
Let's go.
film.
We are here to talk about memory loss, you fucking idiots.
Speaking of
it's-
rape,
It's not-
I caught myself there.
If we're back if we're
We're
not back
kicking
next
off.
week, we know why.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're kicking off
my parents
Christopher
teach
Nolan
special
month.
ed if that helps.
I got a special.
They didn't teach you very well, pal.
Are we really at that point where we're pulling the I know someone special ed card?
No, my
done that a couple of times.
family is very skilled in this, you know.
They
All
really
right.
Same do I. Same.
Sir Christopher Nolan's 2000 Day
Sir
of Code.
Christopher Nolan's debut. To my knowledge, many people wanted to be on this episode and they just weren't.
Yeah, take that, society.
So sorry. I don't know. We didn't plan this properly, but hope you still tune in. We had like 5 people trying to line up for this specific episode because they love this
Wow.
film. So
It's a unique
Sucks
type
to
of film.
suck.
It's a very.
sucks not to be in the room.
Yo,
Yeah.
people are genuinely think that we're like high or something. Like,
Yeah.
No, this is like the
Hence why
This
I'm
is
wearing
the
glasses.
loop.
12-hour shift
Yeah.
of a podcast.
The
Yeah,
loopies.
that's what it is.
And we've only been here for 4 hours.
No, we've been here for like
Nah, we've been here
7.
for
7.
Yeah.
So we recorded an episode, watched Memento, and then we're back here.
We sure are.
Yeah.
This is how we manage our time at Tower. We're kicking off. We're doing 4 episodes.
Yeah.
We're
I
doing
thought we
4.
were doing Nolan.
You could do whoever you want on your own time, but right now we're covering 4 films.
Okay.
We're covering this film. We're covering Inception, The Prestige, and Oppenheimer. Man, I felt like we were doing 5.
Oppenheimer.
No, we move months around.
I was never on the 5 list.
No,
I'm pretty sure people are gonna ask why we're not doing
was.
Inception.
You know who
we
is
are
on the
doing
5
We are
list?
doing
Inception. I just
Inception.
said Inception.
Blah, blah, blah.
I have to
Hey,
say this again.
CK
Interstellar last
Yeah,
fucking
there we
month
go.
or
Okay,
whenever we did it.
wait. CK had something to say. Who's got 5 on it?
We have 5 for PTA month.
And 5 for Wes Anderson.
We're not announcing that one.
That's too
Okay,
late.
just
Then
No,
everybody
it's
did it
not.
all. Austin already fucking did it
I
last
fucked
episode.
up.
You
I-
just let it go.
I
Yeah, he
fucked
just
up.
posted it
That's
like
it.
that.
Take
Look,
2.
everybody
He didn't bleep it.
pointed him and laughed.
Anyways,
Scorsese only gets 4.
we covered
unfortunately.
Interstellar. I think like
I
under-
sacrificed for the greater good of the Phoenician scheme. Bless your fucking ass.
I believe we covered
Thanks.
Interstellar was like our 2nd or 3rd episode of this podcast.
Ever,
really?
right? Like
Wow.
ever. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Have you guys ever covered Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
Fucking.
We have.
Terrible movie.
When he
Yeah,
mashes
you
are-
should have been there,
I'll
CK.
fucking throw elbows at
Hey,
anybody who says
hey.
it's a bad movie.
You'll,
Hey.
That's
you'll
like
throw your
the
tears like
best.
this.
Hey,
I'm gonna windmill all
Hey.
over.
yo,
Hey,
You moron.
Yo, moron.
yo.
hey,
What's your rating?
Forward this one.
for
Yeah.
Memento.
Why the fuck do you get to pick who goes first?
Yeah, it's his pick.
Oh,
hey,
very-
hey,
What? Yeah.
Wes Anderson month's over, Bubby.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
over.
Did you just call me
Hey.
Bubby?
Yeah, Bubby.
Hey, Mike, you got to get off the power trip. Is
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
dog.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
You gotta-
over.
you gotta
Done
hand that
so.
over.
It's gone.
Hand it over, buddy.
At least we're not still doing Fincher.
Damn.
You know these.
No,
next,
we got that the first time, bro.
I'm really looking forward to these next 3 months where it's real
Fincher.
directors. You know.
You guys better. If you guys say this shit during Scorsese month, I will. beat
Didn't you just
the
hear what I
shit-
said?
No, what?
Fincher.
We're about to do 3 real directors.
Hardly know her.
I really wish we would have gotten high because it would have just been
It would've
fun
made
to discuss,
sense.
and it would have made sense. Paramount Classics. We
Stop looking at the screen.
For those who don't know, this is what they're looking at right now.
God.
What is Helen Bonham Carter
Yeah, what the
doing
fuck
in
are we
there?
watching here?
What is this?
I got so many allergies.
It's interesting.
It's really bothering me.
All right, Memento.
You know what's funny is somebody told me today they were watching the Darjeeling Limited episode and they had just seen the Tenenbaums one or something, and they were like, "Yeah, I forwarded it to the middle because you guys are just fucking around for 20 minutes." I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of our thing." Anyways, Memento. Hey, big boy, you want to give us a rating order?
Give us that
What did you
rate.
just call me?
Big
Since
boy.
it's your pick.
Big boy. Big boy.
Listen here.
Listen here, young lady.
You
know
with the
what?
hat.
Wait. I got a question.
Yeah.
One-parter.
You don't have to state that it's a one-parter if it's just a question.
Well, okay, fine.
Leave it open-ended.
Fine.
Are we sure they didn't smoke before this?
No, I'm just trying to keep my energy up.
Those donuts, bro.
Question for you.
Me.
Austin
Tyronius young.
Tyronius.
You know, somebody's actually going to believe you guys one day.
Yeah, they're like, yo, Tyronius.
Tyrone,
my man.
Badass name, bro.
So, we all have our tours that we've been picking. Why Nolan? What has attracted you to him, and what do we have to look forward to this month?
I enjoy Nolan's storytelling, especially like the bending of time. He does in almost everything.
Nice.
And also just his love for cinema itself and what he does to bring people back. Like he's one of the few that actually like
He's
bring
fighting
people
for
back to
cinemas.
the theater.
to bring people back and
And you don't think he also like takes a lot of risk in his type of story that he wants to tell?
he does.
I think that whole time jump thing is a big thing. Like
Nobody
it-
wants to dabble in that.
No,
That's-
and it's so easy to I think do that, and it to look like
Well, yeah, to look good.
pretentious or like you don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
have full control. of
Well,
the
like
story.
like Tarantino only did it for Pulp Fiction, right? And then he never did it again.
yeah.
The time jump?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he did it in Once Upon a Time with the Cliff Booth story.
but
No, but
That's
I
still
mean,
linear.
like,
Yeah.
Oh, like,
Yeah,
like the whole film is that format.
got you.
Pulp Fiction, I think, is the only time he did
The only
it.
time I think he ever got real backlash was for Tenet.
that one was probably the only hit or miss kind of.
I enjoyed it.
I had
only,
fun with
only
it.
saw it once and I didn't care. Like, I do want to watch it again.
That John Washington
But-
guy, I'm not
Never
sold
seen
on him. He just,
Really?
didn't
I
think
am.
somebody
I
could-
just wasn't sold on them for that film.
Okay, well that's pretty bad.
I was like that after the first watch. I was like, I don't know. But after I saw it the second or third time, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
fuck with
but
this.
John David Washington, like, dude, like him and fucking in Malcolm and Marie.
Yeah,
or in Black
dude.
Klansman.
He kind of
or
a little.
in-
Oh,
like,
Black Klansman for sure.
Yeah, dude, he's
Malcolm
Good
and
actor.
Marie, man.
Malcolm
Sam
and Marie.
Levinson is like
yeah, dude.
a lot of people fucking hate on that guy, but I'm gonna stand on that hill that I'm a Sam Levinson fan. Malcolm and Marie, The
Same.
Idol, Euphoria,
Yeah.
the whole shebang. Like
Yeah.
everyone fucking hates him though.
I don't know why.
Well, you know the Jackie Chan box set, yo.
Jackie Chan bots, you know what I'm saying?
Jack Chan box set though.
But yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's fair. Those are fair assessments. All very true.
How do you want to kick off ratings for tonight, buddy?
I've been trying to decide that for a while.
I feel like you should start.
Nah.
Hey, you know that opinion?
cheat. Yeah.
You
Nah.
should do it yourself. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Carl Bingus.
Carl Venus.
Carl
Casablanca.
Belingus.
Casablanca.
Yo, Mr. Bingus.
Mr. Belingue.
Mr. Bingus.
No, Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Carbingi.
You curly. Oh.
Am I curly right now? It's fucking human in here.
Hey, strong hair.
Yo, 1995 just called. They say, how you doing?
1996 called. They want the jerk back.
Hey, your wife called. She said, where the fuck you at?
Yeah, I'm here doing 20 minutes of nonsense before talking about a film.
Cooper just called. Arf, arf. I don't know what it means. He said you would know.
He's actually scared right now because it's raining.
Yeah, arf, arf.
Damn.
Arf, arf.
Pancake.
Man, I'm having an interesting time with this one. It's very good. It's undeniably good.
Yeah. It's undeniable.
It's the hype man over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna rain.
It's going to work.
Go, right.
How we looking outside, Wally? Go rain.
It's been raining.
Oh man. You know what? I'll sit at an 8.5.
Damn. That's lower than I thought.
I'm at an 8.5 for this. And
Heavy
again, I
hits.
think I wouldn't be fair of me to go any higher, because a lot of things have been going through my mind. The unfortunate part about watching Memento this late in my journey
Thank you for touching on that.
is that I've seen Shutter Island and I've seen Fight Club before I saw this,
the
and
big
now
thing.
this just feels like another one of those.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. This one came first, or at least it came right after Fight Club. In fact, isn't Teddy one of the character names in Fight Club?
Teddy.
Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thought
right.
so.
I think so.
And Shutter Island too. By the way, that's Leo's character name is Teddy,
Teddy.
Wow.
and his wife also dies. I mean, like, there's so many similarities,
Spoilers.
but
That's a spoiler right there. We're gonna have to bleep that out.
is it? It's a 2013 film.
Don't forget.
It's 10 years old.
So yeah, that's the unfortunate position I'm in. But again, it also wouldn't be fair of me to say like I max out for this. I don't know if it's this era of this like hard-boiled detective story. I max out at that level. Like I talked about this with Fincher. It's like it's just because it's not my thing.
Right.
I kind of can only go so high on it. I do hit ceiling. So I think 8.5 is as high as I can go. For a film like this or a film of this genre, I think that's high praise for me, from me. But
8.5.
8.5 is good.
Solid.
8.5 is good, and yeah, it's terrific. And there's a lot of humanistic elements that save the film for me, of outside of it being just this hard-boiled detective procedural.
That's fair.
That's nice.
I feel like, well, who do you want to go next?
It was gonna be you, but not anymore. Castro.
Damn.
Memento. I'll give it a 9.2.
Whoa.
This is my type of story. We're just talking about Wes Anderson. I feel like with this one, you could ride the journey with him instead of being described what the journey is.
Yeah, you can.
I like this type of film more, and I'm a sucker for cop stories,
Yeah.
time travel,
For sure.
time jumping.
Time travel.
Yeah. Well, you know that love.
Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Great Scott.
9.2.
9.2.
Yeah, 9.2.
9.2.
Wow.
Yeah, this is definitely your type of film, Professor. For
Yeah,
sure.
this is right up my lane.
This definitely felt like something that if Fincher had gotten his hands on, like he probably would have done
Oh,
not the
worst
same
job.
job.
A better
Damn.
job, let's just say
Damn.
how it is.
I like
a
Nolan,
better
bro.
job. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, we
It would
should
have just
note.
been more stylized.
We
I
should
think.
note. This is the first time any of us have screened this film. So,
Yeah.
pretty important note, I think.
True.
9.2.
All right, West Boy.
Ooh, that's you.
Whenever I got a tough decision to make,
I use preparation H.
I turn to mute.
I use extra strength.
Whenever it itches and I can't fix it,
I keep
Keep going.
itching.
I go to mute.
You know what this film, the black and white bits, remind me of? And Austin Powers makes fun of this too. It's like the little red pill, the little yellow pill. It's like the black and white commercial.
No, that's Wayne's World.
It's Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Yeah, like that. That's what the black and white bits of Memento
yeah.
reminded me of.
guess
Is those
so.
black and white commercials.
Wow.
It's yellow.
It's
Smaller.
simple,
Yeah.
Mida, or whatever the fuck it was.
It's kind of hard for me because I
I'm sure it is.
What, was it not framed right?
Damn.
Was the lighting not too good?
If it was hard, show us your.
Whoa.
Anyway,
Jesus.
film podcast.
Let's say show us your rating. Jeez.
Show it.
You know what? Okay. I think that there are a lot of filmmakers that
That's a bad start.
There's definitely a lot of films.
there's a lot of filmmakers.
Good job, buddy.
There's a lot.
100 years of cinema.
So much.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of filmmakers now that are looking at films like Memento and things done in this like time period where like a lot of our heroes were starting out. So they use similar techniques to make their films look cooler or look more established or have more
Sure.
preparation behind it. So in a way, I kind of felt like this whole like time jump thing to me almost felt gimmicky. But I have to reflect and think about the fact that this was probably something that, again, in a very
Cutting
unique
edge at the
story.
time.
Yeah, very unique for a lot of us. For all of us, like we had never seen it before. So the execution was very fresh.
Yeah.
And it felt very new,
Okay.
but I don't know why. Maybe because, again, I've seen a lot of things. There was something that felt a little stale about it. But also to note that it's a directorial debut for a feature.
Pretty impressive for a
That's
debut.
extremely impressive. I mean, when we talk about like people's like first feature, it's hard to get something that punches this well.
I'll toss this out there. Has anybody? I don't think I have. Has anybody seen It Follows, or was it what's his following?
fuck.
I like it.
The following.
His first
Oh,
short.
no. Okay, no.
I think it's called Following or It Follows. One of those.
It's
two.
The following.
the following. Yeah, the following.
It's very hard to get short films on the Criterion collection.
Yeah.
That's one.
That one made it?
The short films
The
on
only
the
short film
Criterion.
of his I've seen is Doodlebug.
Okay,
Doodlebug.
I haven't even seen Doodlebug, but I think
You're the one that showed it to me.
which one's Doodlebug?
The one where the guy's like chasing a bug that's running around his house,
And it turns
and
out
he
it's
finally gets it and
Check your
kills it.
tattoos, bro. Check your tattoos.
Ah, yeah. Let me. So I'm the illustrated man.
Hey, fuck yeah.
I love that book.
Dude, it's fucking amazing.
Anyways, if I'm not mistaken, the It Follows film or Following, whatever the
Following.
the following. It's Following. What the fuck is it called? Just look at that.
he doesn't want to do shit.
It got a lot of buzz. It got him a lot of like. I want to say
Following.
just following.
Oh, okay.
It's an hour film, man. That's hardly a short film.
Really?
It's a Delator short.
Wait a minute.
Hour
It's a
9.
Delator short. Yeah,
It's an hour 9, and we're calling Memento
that's
his.
what I'm saying. So he did have a little bit of.
That's
That's
a
my
feature,
point. Is he
kinda.
did have a little bit of experience.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
How
Legally,
do they-
anything past 45 minutes or 40
Yeah.
minutes is considered a feature.
Yeah. From the director of Memento, Following. This one came first, jackass.
Yeah, what?
They probably like it was
Oh,
probably
yeah,
the thing
yeah.
where like Memento was so popular that you're like, let's
Hey, catch
re-release
this
this
one,
bitch. That happened to like with the guy Madeline on the park bench.
Wow.
For Chazelle. But Doodlebug. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember Doodlebug.
Yeah.
Doodlebug.
Doodlebug was the short.
Insomnia is the only one I'm gonna miss after this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen Insomnia.
Dude,
either.
don't-
Robin
Dunkirk?
Williams? I didn't know that was Nolan, dude. That doesn't feel like a Nolan.
Which one?
Insomnia?
Oh.
Robin Williams and I forget the other guy.
Well, just
Wait, did he direct that?
Alba.
Yeah.
What?
Right?
That was.
It's good. It's a good film, but it's just like, what? Nolan?
Oh
tie-
no, I'm thinking a different one. I'm thinking the one with Robin Williams and fucking Robert De Niro. Have you guys seen that one?
Oh,
no.
that's
Isn't that like an hour photo or something? No.
It's
that's
like
the newer one.
That's the newer
No,
one?
but I know what you're talking about. Awakenings.
Awakenings. Yeah,
Awakenings.
that one's a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
banger.
Yeah.
Damn. And I know bangers.
when you feel unheard. I'm kidding. I'll give it a 7-8.
7-8.
7-8.
I think it's good, and the more it sits with me, maybe even at the end of the podcast, like I'll bump it up to an 8. But right now, I feel like I don't know what's stopping me from feeling the punch.
Yeah. I think
and-
you hit it on the nose. Like we just did a whole month of Fincher. These are clearly his types of films.
Yeah,
and
but
like
this
I think you hit it on the nose. Like we're just at an unfair advantage because we didn't see this 20 years ago.
Yeah, and
know?
then on top of it, I mean, we're going to talk about the rest of his filmography, and I know the
Yeah.
rest of his filmography is going to be hitting the 8s and
Eons.
9s,
In terms of growth as
Yeah.
a storyteller,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's going to be
It's
hitting
gonna hit
the
the
8.
9s and maybe a 7.
I don't know about
which
a 7.
one's a 7?
No, yeah, it's gonna hit a 7.
Which one?
We'll find out.
Inception is not going to be a
Oh.
7. Austin.
Tenet, probably.
It's a good film.
It is.
Accept
We'll
it.
find out.
That's a really good one.
Tune in next week to find.
Wow, we're already
You
done.
don't,
Holy
but
shit.
I can.
Yeah, so 7-8 right now, and I'm excited to keep talking about it because there's a lot to unpack. But yeah,
Dopedelic. Who's next? Playboy. Well, we only got CK and you basically.
no, and Costner
gave
wants to go
us-
again.
Oh,
Wow. He wants to go again?
you said 9 too. What do you mean?
Yeah. I'm like, what?
I'm sitting at like
So-
an 8.6.
8-6. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm-
think similar, like just it's been done better, but you also have to think about the time when it came out. And again, this was his directorial debut, and not only that, how it
Ish.
influenced a lot of people.
But do
Yeah.
you think are you giving it the 8.6 for I guess contribution?
For the
or-
contribution as well.
you think so?
Yeah.
I think we were also like, similarly to other situations, people were building this fucking film up for
Yeah.
us. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's fucking Memento,
Yeah, that is
dude.
one
Oh,
thing
it's like
too.
my favorite.
Yeah, it's like
And
what's
it's
that
kinda
other movie that we watched?
Yeah, it's not that great.
Walter Mitty.
No,
No,
Tenenbaums.
Yeah, like Tenenbaums.
Tenenbaums.
Or, yeah, exactly. Like
Tenenbaums.
people, everybody's like, you haven't seen Memento? Like, oh my, it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
What are you, stupid? A lot of people up
Hey,
in the
moron.
streets.
Hey, moron.
A lot of people on the streets just kept coming up to me, and
CK?
I don't even think they talked about Memento.
Do you want to hear? This is a question for you, Austin. Do you want to hear the honest rating or the
rating for the show.
friend-
Yeah,
Friendly
it's all
rating.
honest, bro.
The rating for the show. Whenever we ever given friendly ratings.
Yeah, moron.
okay? Honest, like 6, 7.
Whoa!
That is
was-
low.
Way low.
Then again, but one thing that I will say is I'm very, very open to watching it again. Because we did see it tired as fuck. We saw it with we actually didn't pause it. Normally we pause a lot of the movies because one of us has to take a piss or something, but we actually didn't. But
I held it.
fucking I don't know.
We
it was
were
just
all hooked in.
that's the thing though. We were all hooked in because we were all confused.
No, we
We're
did
trying to-
pause it. If
we're
you
trying to solve
remember,
the
I think
puzzle.
half an hour through.
We're like, what the fuck is going on?
We stopped. And then I don't know if
the
it was
blonde
you
guy?
where you were like, "Oh, Nolan did a diagram for the film. Do you want to see it?" And I'm like, "No, I'll be fine."
But
He's like,
Castro and
he's like,
CK were
"Shut
like-
up! You're gonna look at the
No,
diagram."
it was
It
CK. CK was like, he was trying to explain it to Gatso, and they were both just completely wrong.
Yeah, so it's like
Dude,
we're
no, no,
looking at the
you know,
diagram,
we're
and then
all
after,
wrong.
So everyone has seen that viral video of Christopher Nolan
No,
on the
dude, what happened to
chalkboard
your
talking about
hands?
the fucking.
What?
Give me a break. All right, I'll explain right now. We're talking about the video. Everyone's seen the viral video of Christopher Nolan on the chalkboard, doing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole. This is how you chalk down Memento. And he brought that up because we were all confused. Okay, so what's the black and white? What's the color stuff? It's being told reverse.
And then
it
after
was
that,
fucking
we
hilarious.
closed it, and then we started watching the movie
No,
again.
the funniest part was that Austin got confused too.
oh yeah,
He was like, yeah.
There was a
whoa,
point
whoa.
where even he was like, "Yo."
because it was funny
Wait,
that
what?
at first it's so easy. Just look at the diagram, and then after the diagram, it's like, wait, where are we?
Rewind that.
and then we closed my Instagram, and we went back to the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that looking at Nolan's
Fucking Austin.
diagram is the same as when you go to a shopping mall and you have to look at those maps that say you are here, and you're like, "No, we passed Macy's. What is this?
That's a bit.
What do you mean?"
That's a bit.
That's a good bit.
It's a bit.
a bit
Add it to your minute.
Like a joke.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it.
All right.
Macy's.
Whenever you're lost, go to Macy's.
Whenever I feel lost, I drink this empty ass can of soda.
Pick it up.
All right, we got our ratings all around 6, 7, 9, 2, 8, 5, 8,
The
9,
fuck?
7. Well, I'm going around.
Whose number is that?
I don't think
It's
we-
Teddy's.
Call it.
I got a
It's Teddy's
16
number.
I
in
don't
there.
think we've ever had such a wide range of
Yeah,
ratings.
kind of mixed
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah,
Cheeky.
I've never been this wide in my life.
I'm trying to be generous because for the same reason, my 8.5 does come from that whole thing of it's not the film's fault as much as it is us just being exposed to so much of this kind of film in 2 months,
Yeah.
and
You do have to kind of put yourself in that time as well, though.
yeah.
But
when
that's
it
that's
came
one
out.
of the things though that keeps on coming up to me is Forrest Gump and movies like that, Back to the Future and shit like that were already established by now. You know, Star
Yeah.
Wars was already more than decades old, and Godfather and stuff like that. Like you guys said, Fight Club came out right before this one,
Right.
and there was even a moment where you guys were like, "Guy Pearce, is that budget Brad Pitt?"
Yeah. Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, he was the first in line. He didn't want Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt said no.
I'm kind of understanding why he said no,
Brad
or
Pitt,
why.
no, Brad Pitt, he was committed to another film at the time, but then he's like, okay, I'm not going to look for an A-lister. I'm going to get somebody who's, number one, budget-friendly because I have a low budget.
Right.
And it'll help have an unknown in the role.
It also helps for the part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. So,
By the way, this film was nominated for 2 Oscars.
was it what Oscar?
Wow.
Screenplay and
Screenplay and editing.
That's fair.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Well nommed.
That's fair.
What are we talking about the Oscars on the last recording?
How toxic they are and do they matter? No, but I see where you're coming from, CK. I mean, when something's timeless, it's timeless. But
Yeah.
I think it also just comes down to taste to a certain
Yeah,
extent. I
that's
mean,
true.
that's why I'm upfront of hey, I'm gonna hit ceiling. I'm gonna hit ceiling on a few, Nolan pictures. I'm gonna hit ceiling on most of Fincher's pictures. It's just a taste thing, I think. And I don't think anybody except Castro and half of CK are appeal to these types of films.
I was just expecting the same mindfuck I got from Interstellar. Everybody was, Hyping it up like that.
He wasn't there yet, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't
I
there
feel
yet as a
like
storyteller.
but I thought it was gonna be more of a mindfuck than
Yeah.
it really was. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
that's fair. I agree.
It was a cool movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just I compared to all the other shit that we've seen Nolan do.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
Underwhelmed.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's just
that's a
a
good word.
maturing thing. Again, like we're doing an auteur month to look at his trajectory and like
Yeah.
how he's grown. And I mean, I feel like we're at a point where we said it for Wes and Fincher. Like, I mean, to a certain degree, there's no bad film in their filmography.
Right.
It's just a
Yeah.
matter of like, in the earlier works, they were exploring this concept. I mean, for like you're a technical freshman feature, like it's a really complicated thing to be directing. I mean,
I think it's also dangerous. And we should have maybe talked about this. You guys let us know what you think, because I think that's why I took the stand, and I think we did it for Fincher Month too, of like, we're going to start with the banger. We're going to start with the staple and work backwards or work forwards.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I want to kick off with Goodfellas for Marty Month, because
That's
I
what we're
think
doing for Nolan.
That's,
No, we're
that's,
not.
that's what he's saying. That's what he's.
It's,
Well, yeah, we're starting pretty early with Memento.
no,
no,
not
he's-
early.
he's saying that with the best-
Start with the staple, right?
Oh,
what he's
the
known
staple.
for.
The
Yes.
staple, because that way you could say, okay, we know because of this
Yeah.
film. If we've never seen a Nolan film in our lives, we know this film tells us that we have a good storyteller on our hands.
Yeah.
When we start with, like, if I were to start with Boxcar Bertha or Who's That Knocking, we kind of be like, I don't know, man, this guy's not
No,
ready.
but I mean, we also kind of started like in the middle for like odd reasons for each month. I
Yeah,
think.
like, we couldn't start with Interstellar, which I deem to be Nolan's staple, right? I think
Yeah.
that's fair. If not
I agree.
Interstellar, most people would say Inception.
yeah.
or honestly, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a
It's
But
too-
fucking.
no,
too
that's
new.
that again. I feel like we're
That's
also
his best film because
Yeah.
of where he is at as a filmmaker now. But is it the staple that everybody knows, that everybody's drawn to, that everybody
Yeah.
gravitates to?
It's either Interstellar or
Interstellar.
Dark
Or
Dark Knight,
True,
yes,
that's
Dark
true,
Knight.
that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
How are we not doing that?
yeah, we're not doing Dark Knight.
We're not.
That fucking sucks.
Knight. Go home and watch it. Nerd.
Plus, it's a trilogy. Maybe we did for trilogy month.
Hey, that'd be.
Yeah, I think it's a weird exploration. We're already here. We're gonna explore this film, but it does feel like maybe we need to start on a banger
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
okay. Then going back to Memento, and be like, all right, we kind of see the trajectory a little bit.
Okay, well, let's kind of get into it. I mean,
Yeah.
Castro, I feel like this is centering around the main character. To me, it feels like a big character film.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Does it though?
I think only because the only consistent part you're getting to the audience is this single dude and him trying to piece together the memory. Because for the most part, you still don't even understand like the peripheral characters and their relationship.
I think
because-
this is a masterclass of an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
You know, I think an unreliable
Yeah.
character, you know, because
Yeah.
we can't trust him. We certainly can't trust what he thinks it's right.
But again, we're kind of like almost like sitting on his shoulder where if he believes somebody in one moment, then
Sure. We're
we're
kinda
also
following him
Yeah,
there, right?
we're kind of following his lead. So I feel like because of that, we're always attaching ourselves to him.
I think you're right. I think we also can't deem him an unreliable narrator until we finish the film. So
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's kind of like a character study. But like, what did you like about Pierce's performance? What didn't you like? What I guess
I'll try to
what's the
compare it
range?
to Gone Girl. I had the same effect that Ben Affleck had with me, like on this one,
Alright.
where
That's
I
interesting.
thought he was underplaying it,
Yeah.
and then I realized why he was underplaying it. At first, he said, "This kind of looks like a cheap version of Brad Pitt." It's like, dude, Brad
Budget
Pitt would have
Brad
been
Pitt.
awesome in this one. I think he
Sure.
would give it a little
Yeah.
bit more, you know,
That's-
what's in the box?
pizzazz for sure. But then I read that Nolan didn't want that. I think he just wanted somebody that the audience
He
could.
said that maybe he didn't say this about Pierce. I think he said it about the guy who plays Teddy. He said something to the effect of like, I think this dude kind of overdid it and underdid it, and then he said, once we finished, I felt like, oh, his subtleties are really doing something for this character.
Yeah.
Did Guy Pearce do that?
I think he did, man. I think it kind
Like
of
the
worked.
subtleties did it.
It's because I don't know much about his performance, like his acting in other films, but I think he kind of played it the way the character should have been played. I think it's just like he's.
I think Guy Pearce is a pretty interesting example of subtleties because Brutalist.
I was
right?
looking for that,
The Brutalist.
but that's a little okay.
Like, he's not overplaying it. He's not. You don't see him as the guy who's gonna do some weird, crazy shit till he does the weird, crazy shit. Like, I don't know. I think Guy Pearce kind of has earned that title a little bit. And this was like his first kind of big film, right? So
I'm still more of the entertainment aspect of it. I think it would have been nice to see like a Brad Pitt.
yeah, you want to see Anthony Hopkins and fucking
but I understand. I understand his
Daniel
character on this
Day-Lewis.
one.
I think what confused me about his performance is the fact that we get moments that tells us he's also scared of the fact that his memory's like lost, and then we'll get a lot of moments where he looks like the most composed one in a scene, and he keeps falling back into, oh yes, I used to do insurance and investigations, and I have this whole story. So with him, it's kind of like there's a part of him that's supposed to be the I'm sure of myself. Like, sure, you could tell me whatever you want, but I know who I am. But then there's also the part where, like, if somebody opens the door, he's freaked out more than everybody else for a mundane scene.
Sure.
And I feel like maybe some of the entertainment would have come to see him be a little more reactive. Like where are you really sitting on the fence? Because I feel like that in between,
That's good. Yes.
yeah, maybe made him an unreliable like narrator, but it also made it that you never really know if this guy's always going to get startled and he's always
That's why it works.
That's
But
how he's jumpy, or
yeah.
if he's going to be the most composed one. And I feel like there is a conflict there, at least to me. There is a conflict in the character of like you by always being jumpy and jumping to the next thing. That makes sense to me, because then it's like, oh, these situations that are happening is because he's purely listening to instinct, but that composure doesn't tell me that that's the case.
I'll toss this wrench into your guys' argument. I agree that there's a conflict, but I think there's two aspects that I'd like to pay attention to, or that justify some of it for me. One of them is his age. I don't know anything about dementia or amnesia, or like I don't know enough to.
Well, it's
to
one of those
say-
that once you get older, it's a little bit more prone.
Right. But when you have it on set at a young age, or any age, I think the frustration of like not about being in denial, or the frustration of he accepts it the entire time, but he also realizes like I now have to help myself. I have to write these notes. I have to take these pictures. I have to trust my own handwriting. Who is reliable? So I think a lot of it is justified in that sense, and maybe that's the struggle that Nolan wanted. But I also think that there's another side to this character that I think is a really great magic trick on Nolan's behalf. For all of my bullshit of like this is this hard-boiled detective story and whatever, he's not a detective. I mean, like he's an insurance dude. He's not a hard badge carrying fucking.
He just
you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to solve a crime. He's trying to avenge his wife.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying like former insurance man, and it's like that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to like package an insurance guy who's trying to avenge his wife in a hard-boiled modern noir. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool magic trick, and you can't get that without like the interweaving of like the guy who's always freaking. I think of like Jack Nicholson in Chinatown.
Okay.
You know, and he's not cool, collected detective fucking around. He's like constantly looking at the door and paranoid and figuring out what's next and who's coming from, and that's I think that's a noir thing.
Okay.
I think that's a natural noir thing. So I think that's a pretty cool magic trick on Nolan's part. Think of like things like Double Indemnity, Billy Wilder noir pictures. The guys aren't cool, calm, collected. They're sweating. They're profusely figuring it out. They can't trust a woman. Is she a femme fatale? Like, they're not cool. They're not bogey. You know what I mean? They're fucking like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. I think Bogey is probably the only guy who could ever pull that off. But I think Guy Pearce does something. I think without that like frustration and like angst, we lose interest for a modern picture.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Maybe that's what I'm feeling.
I don't know.
You're the expert, Playboy. Tell us.
No, I just think towards the end, I think he did find the balance. I'm going to repeat myself. I think I'm more into the entertainment. I think it would have been a little bit more memorable if it was a character that had a little bit more spark to him.
Give us a good example of this. Give us like okay, if Guy Pearce is a bad example, who's a good example?
Or at least like a good part in the film that shows that like entertainment.
Okay, let me think about this.
If anything comes to mind.
Is it Is it Brad in Fight Club? Is it Brad in Seven? What's the entertaining factor?
The entertainment factor for me is that I want to keep watching. I want to rewatch it again and see if I could put myself in those shoes. Whereas with this guy, he's really stripped of his identity, so you can't really walk in his shoes or even place yourself there.
Is this Born Before Born? You know, like isn't that the whole spiel of Born? Is like I don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah, I just like that's how I'm feeling. I don't know. I got to watch it again. It's a lot to take in for the first watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I
do agree with you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it feels for sure like a movie that like it's good. It's just kind of like dated.
Yeah, it didn't age well.
Yeah. No,
not too well.
Sucks,
I mean,
but yeah.
not in the sense of like it was aged bad or anything. It's just kind of like it aged how it did. But there's like a lot of other projects that are more fascinating that have done more. That is just kind of like okay, well this was not bad for a first film.
Yeah, it didn't age well in its genre.
You know what? I'm really fascinated with it. I just want to know how Nolan got to where he's at.
What do you mean, like
storytelling?
If somebody? Well, look, he hasn't changed his formula a whole ton. This film is based on a short story that his brother wrote, and that's what Nolan's been doing for fucking ever. Like Interstellar was also written by his brother. Like that part of the formula hasn't changed. And Nolan did a little sneaky little motherfucking thing in this one. What he did was his brother wrote the short story, and it's not technically adapted. That's why the Oscar nomination is original screenplay, because they didn't publish the short story till after the film came out.
Yeah. They really wanted that nomination.
I mean, he got credit. Jonathan Nolan got credit, but they didn't. This wasn't an adapted screenplay for the same reason. And it's almost like Jonathan Nolan brings the what is it called? The
sauce?
The grill, and Nolan brings the sizzle or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, because Jonathan Nolan wrote it linear. Chronologically linear.
Right.
Nolan said, nah, dog, we reversing that shit and we're turning this into a hairpin. That was all Nolan's doing. Jonathan, it's this dude who's like lost his memory and he's avenging his wife. Like, it's this short story, but Nolan was like Nolaning all over the place. So.
And I mean, that's
Nolaning?
No, and that's where I think the biggest highlight of this film is probably the editing. I mean,
sure. Oh, absolutely.
Because the fact that you're able to edit in a way where the story is cohesive, but I think for the most part, the entire time your audience really is confused on like, who is this guy? Who's good? Who's bad? Who's who? And to not only confuse us enough where we're intrigued, but not so much that we just think that this film's gibberish, because it could have borderline there too. If it was just nothing but these facts that don't want to connect with each other, I think you can tell that they're really trying to like give you the meat and potatoes towards like the latter half of the film when the cuts between the moving forward parts and the moving backward parts get more frequent, you know?
I think the problem with this film, too, is I forget who said the quote. I forget if it's Hitchcock. It might be Hitchcock. But, you know, the whole thing of if you let your audience figure it out for themselves, they'll love you forever. Yeah. And I think this one doesn't do that. I think
because it's too confusing to leave the audience to itself, because by the end of the movie we'll be like, oh fuck, there's a lot of exposition
that is good
in dialogue.
That was kind of like my big gripe about the film, is that I thought it was going to balance out the exposition, not just that once we hit the middle ending of the film that the buddy is going to be like, don't you remember that I'm the cop friend who's kind of bad and we're a part of a drug deal and you're just like killing everybody? It's like,
you know what? I think that might be exactly the issue of this movie. Yeah. It's straight up exposition. The editing does its best to build up the subtext of it. But then when we're in the scene, it just bombs it with exposition.
I have no idea if this was in the original screenplay, but the voiceover feels like it was added on after the fact. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's like bad. That's a bad exposition-y thing to do.
No, and just to put a pin on that, it's great for the film that a lot of that exposition came out at the end.
Right.
But if you think of the story, it doesn't make sense. Why this late in the process, let me go and re-explain everything that's going to make you hate me and want to kill me in a couple of days.
It felt like a Hyde and Scooby-Doo episode, you know?
Yeah, I almost got away with it. And then I mean, again, the whole make your audience feel good.
Yeah.
When Austin went back to look at the beginning, like when did he write that note of like, oh, you did it? You feel cool because then you feel like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that this all like ties into itself.
But I called this shit at the end of the second act. Like,
Yeah.
maybe even halfway through the second act, I was like, "Oh, dude, we're flashing back to the bald dude."
Yeah,
This
but it was
Same,
really
same.
leaning into it. you know?
I was really leaning into it, and what's more is like I think it's just the suffering of. Well, okay, this is an interesting topic to explore. There's a lot of films that came out in that era, and the only one that comes to mind because of this this crime. I don't want to call it crime thriller, but kind of crime central series of films.
Which one?
Things like, say, like Bad Boys, right? Memento is obviously a better film than Bad Boys. But what? No,
What you
excuse
gonna
me?
do?
I love Bad Boys, the first one, dude. Miami.
What are you gonna do
yeah, but-
when they come for you?
Bad Boy.
But it's a better film than Bad Boys, isn't it?
It's a different type of film. This is where we start getting into the little.
Honestly, I see what you mean.
Bad Boys is
I see
just.
what you mean.
It's
Because it's kind of
an
like
action flick. This
it's
was
the
more
same.
of a.
Yeah, my
It's
bad.
more of a thriller. What?
It's the same exact shit as actors. Like some actors are built for comedy and they're
Yeah.
fucking fire
Oh,
at
yeah.
that, and then some are built for drama and they're fucking fire at that. And then you try. Sometimes they swap and it doesn't really hit. Lately, more comedy actors have been booming in drama, but sometimes it's not too.
You know,
much
It's
of a
Michael fucking Bay. This film is a better film than Bad Boys. I'm just, and by the way, the fucking Teddy guy was in both of those films.
True.
But my point is, like, it isn't quite that. It isn't quite like, it can't be lumped into the crime.
No, yeah.
Comedies or crime actions
Yeah.
or crime whatever, right? It is its own thing.
Right.
I guess crime thriller really is the place to lump it in. But there's some crime thrillers from the early 2000s that are ass. They're not this. This is still, we can still deem this to be.
I think it is just that exposition overhaul.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, I completely agree with you, Michael. Like, if you read it into, like, a linear timeline, it's literally the movie is spoiled in the midpoint. And then it continues to keep on going.
Yeah,
you're just
and
like,
the thing is that every other scene is balanced out so well, giving you little bits of information, but you could feel somewhere in the screenplay, it's kind of like, shit, we're getting to, like, the second, third, and, you know, we need to drop more things in. And then that's when you get that, like, the girl goes over and she's like, don't you realize that Teddy set us up and Teddy did this and you're going to forget it. You got to write this down. And you get a lot of those moments. And sure, it's good for the emotional connection you're going to have with the character because you're going to feel his anxiety of, do I trust you? Do I not? I don't remember you. But in that...
I also feel like that character is maybe a studio decision. I thought that character was pointless.
Teddy?
The
girl?
The girl.
The girl?
I almost felt
Yeah.
like the studio was like, we need a kind of love interest thing.
Oh no! And then
Like,
the ass part.
I don't
is
think
that,
she did anything. I don't think that character
The
did
ass part, and
anything.
then the plot is that Teddy knows that guy is a major drug dealer, and that's
Right.
why he's like, "Oh, we got to get you out of town," and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But like, he was there to help this guy just help him get away at the end because
Yeah.
at the end they just
I
get
feel,
away.
like, I feel like that was the thing about the girl is like her whole entire thing was to be like the counterbalance and antagonist, I guess,
Right.
towards Teddy. Like if she wasn't there, all right, cool, dude, you killed this fucking guy, let's get
Yeah.
out of there. But since she is there, now there's that stake of, dude, you need to listen to me. I need to get you out of the city because you just killed a mob boss and everything is fine until you. But this girl is manipulative. She's going to fuck you over.
Yeah.
She's going to take over control. So it kind of heightens the stake in that direction. Because, yeah, I mean, really take her out, and then it is a different story, I feel like.
I think Nolan for sure got better with his use of time jump and connecting plot points that are in two different times and making them feel like one. I mean, the masterclass on that is Interstellar. The way he's
Right.
going and bouncing between these timelines. And I feel like he obviously enjoys them and was Memento was probably like this big dry run for him. But you can see where, again, maturing as an auteur, maturing as saying that
Yeah.
I know what style I like, I know what stories I like to tell, because obviously after this, what was the next thing he did?
That one?
Probably Prestige, no?
Oh yeah,
No,
Prestige.
after this was Insomnia.
Insomnia. I
Insomnia.
haven't seen Insomnia, so I can't say where if any growth. Insomnia almost
It's
from the
different.
clips that I've seen just feels like a studio film, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess let me put it to this way: in terms of any emotional connection or emotional stakes for the character, I got way more from the prostitute scene than I did from than I did from because
Yeah.
the items of the wife and
Don't worry.
and this guy Pierce Leonard feeling like, can I manipulate myself? Can I trick myself into thinking some shit? I want to see how far I can take myself, how detached I can become from certain situations, and that's the whole point of this film, right? Is can I detach myself long enough to not blame myself for my wife's death?
Yeah.
I think that's if there's any emotional connection that I have to the film, it's that, right? It's the wife sentiment and the Sammy character and the Sammy kind of sentiments, but I didn't. I mean, I guess it's trying to be this misguide, this mislead the Carrie Ann Moss character, but I didn't care for it. Like it just didn't do anything for me. Like at first, it's like okay, cool, there's some connection there, or he's trying to defend her because she's got a shitty boyfriend or whatever. But then it just becomes like pointless to me.
Wouldn't it also just be another confirmation on how easily he can be manipulated because of his condition?
Yeah, but
Because that's what Teddy does to him.
Yeah, it also kind of heightens the stakes into exactly that.
Yeah.
Like it reminds us constantly that he can easily be manipulated, and we see her do it to him.
Yeah.
Where like she goes into the car,
Literally
back-
waits 5 minutes.
and then comes right back
Yeah.
in. But
Right.
then on top of that,
yeah, the beer
so then
stuff, the
that-
spit. I mean, it's
that kind of shit like drizzled throughout the story also makes us feel the same way that Teddy is doing that to him. So it kind of keeps us
Yeah.
on feet every single time that Teddy's in the scene. It makes us think, is he the
But
bad guy?
I felt
But
like
again,
I feel
at
like
the-
if Teddy would have played both sides of that, which he was, we just didn't see enough of it.
Yeah.
If he would have just played both sides of that, that would have been a far more interesting approach. I don't
agree.
think that the girl was meant to mislead us to be like, oh, cool, they're gonna fuck, and like they're gonna like
No,
each other, and they're gonna
it
maintain like this human relationship, and then like, oh, she's a drug dealer's girlfriend, and oh, like she's against it, like. I don't know. It just felt
It's
like a
also
weird
kind of
situation.
too many elements. This whole
It-
thing
it
of
really
like,
there's
is.
a lot.
like
There's a
the
lot.
whole thing of like
Teddy was enough to drive us to like, oh, do I trust this guy? Do I not trust this guy?
and then,
why is he in the car
honestly,
before? Like,
if you had just left it where it's the girl that maybe meets him because let's say she's like if the story was she's just a prostitute and
Mm-hmm.
helping this guy get rid of the memory from his deceased wife, but starts feeling bad for him and saying, "I'm trying to help you."
Right.
Think of like Truman Show and that character, the girl that's like trying to help Truman break into the truth.
right. The
And then
extra
have
or
Teddy
whatever.
being the one trying to keep him
Yeah. That
in
would've
his
been a
kind of
little bit
lulled
more.
state. That would have been interesting enough, but then there's this drug deal, then there's this like good cop, bad cop. Then
I
there's,
wonder if
Too many elements.
if
oh,
we,
and then also the whole motel thing and us trying to piece that together. And I think all those different sprinklings are kind of like they're Easter eggs that when you rewatch the film, once you understand it, you feel good about, but
yeah,
they're not helping.
They're
the
also
film.
very different flavors in terms of sprinkling onto a meal, right? Like they're different spices, and it's meant to keep it interesting, right? It's meant to keep you on your
For sure.
toes. But I wonder if Memento is the equivalent of how we felt about Royal Tenenbaums for Wes. Like he
Yeah.
just wasn't ready to tell this complex of a story.
Do you think
He-
Nolan could tell this story now?
Oh
way
yeah,
better?
I mean
yeah.
substantially better.
Oh,
a
that would
million
be
times.
I wonder
awesome.
if this is the equivalent. And again, he didn't do a bad job, man. Like fucking, he clearly stamped his like, hey, I can do this shit. This is my voice early on. That's impressive and it's very admirable. But I
have
don't
a,
know.
I have a theory on the popularity of Memento.
All right.
About sociology. I don't know why I'm bringing this up because
Sure.
I have no idea about sociology.
You're on the right track, I guess.
But
Oh, this is very much a sociology,
Yeah.
sociological experiment.
yeah, one thing that I keep on thinking about is like, obviously, everyone has told us, dude, Memento's the shit. This is the fucking greatest, probably Nolan's best film. But we're having like a lot of struggles. I feel like Memento is pretty much like maybe around the time that it came out, like in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Nirvana before they boomed,
Ah,
where it's just kind of like that movie, dude.
If you knew
have-
it before he became cool.
Yeah, it was just cool before it was cool, you know. And
Love
now,
it.
like, because all the people that I've heard that have said, "Dude, this shit's the shit,"
Yeah.
are people that are like, they were teens in that time.
I fucks
you know?
with it. I
Yeah,
fucks
yeah.
with it. I also feel like a lot of the
Kinda
people,
touched
at
on
least
that.
who are filmmakers, and don't come with a fucking pitchfork and whatever, you know, a torch and a pitchfork. But I do feel like a lot of them have crafted their whole voice around something like this. because they saw it when they were 13.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it impacted you when you were 13. But I hope that like people like, at least in our case, we say, hey, Walter Mitty was cool when I was 13, but I hope that I've watched enough cinema and have tried to develop a voice enough to be like, Walter Mitty's Walter Mitty. You know?
If it was like earlier on and I hadn't seen as many films as I have now,
right,
and we saw this,
Memento would have been the shit.
It would have been the thing that we all talk about and saying like, how do you even do that and everything. But again, and that's why I opened up my rating with saying like, maybe I've just seen his trajectory and maybe I've seen enough where then it just didn't feel like it had the right punch.
And you know what the weird situation is that like, I don't know where to place Memento in terms of like, maybe even Nolan as a whole. I can't, like, my dad loves action comedies and action films, right? Like, that's his jam. You know, I saw fucking Drunken Master when I was 7 because he fucking loves those types of films, right? So, like, that's his jam. And I remember screening Chinatown for my dad. And I thought he's gonna fucking love this. Like, this would be great. Great screening. Like, we're gonna bond on this film. And then, like, it's no use, Jake. Chinatown's got him now. And then I'm like, and he just didn't get it. It just didn't fuck with. Like, he's like, yeah, it was cool, I guess. Like, it was fine. And I remember thinking at that time, oh, there is a difference. And I think in our like surface level cinephile heads, we're like, Nolan appeals to the dads. Like, the pops love Nolan, and they watch Interstellar or fucking Inception, and they're like, yeah, like. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we're screening this versus screening, say, like Fight Club to my dad, he'd probably feel like, what? I really don't know what's going on here. And by the end of the film, I'm just gonna feel exhausted. And I don't know how to. I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like because a lot of like the general audience's first exposure to Nolan was like The Dark Knight,
right?
Which was me, including me. I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
I never saw anything Nolan until Dark Knight, and then like Interstellar came out.
I feel like Inception for me. Nolan. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Dark Knight was huge. But I feel like Inception was the popular, like, holy shit, what a mind fuck.
Yeah,
but I think that's why Inception had such a big
Inception
thing
was
at the box office because
right after the Dark Knight trilogy.
It was after Dark Knight.
Right after the Dark Knight
because
trilogy.
he did Batman Begins, The Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, and then Dark Knight Rises.
Kind of intervening.
So that's why I think Inception, maybe when it came out, everybody went to go see it because they're like, oh, it's the guy who made Dark Knight.
It's Leo and
yeah.
But I think I guess I feel like in my upbringing, I would hear people like Inception is such a mind fuck. Like Inception is oh my gosh, like I can't figure it out. And what is the thing spinning at the end? Like I feel like my dad can fuck with Inception. Let me just put it that way. Like he could still kind of fuck with Inception, but if I showed him Memento, it'd be cool, and he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching here. Fight Club might make a little more sense to my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to, and it's isn't it great to have a filmmaker that you can't pigeonhole? And that's what Nolan is, right? Like. You can't put him with the dads and the action films. You can't put him with
even
the mainstream necessarily.
Even now, there is kind of like this massive boom of like fucking specifically for some reason like gym bros that are like my age. Yeah, they're all like, dude, fucking Interstellar is my favorite fucking movie. That's my shit right now. So the same way that people loved Wolf of Wall Street back then.
But where did fucking Oppenheimer sit for most people?
A lot of people did.
Exactly. A lot of people really liked it, but I think that's because of the Barbenheimer. I think that's what really brought a lot of attention
but
to it.
I had a similar thing with Oppenheimer with my dad. I thought he was going to love it.
Right.
Because he's a history buff and he loves all that stuff. And he walked out and he was like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer fucks, man.
It really does.
The rewatchability to me, I don't think it's there.
You don't think Memento has a rewatchability
No,
factor?
Oppenheimer.
Oh.
When was the last time you saw it?
When it first came out?
Yeah, when it first came out.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
I've seen it like 3 times.
Dude, yeah,
That's
trust
what
it
I'm
just
saying.
gets better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw the story. I got the story. What do I have to go back to?
Do you feel like Memento has any rewatchability?
Man, I'm hearing you guys, dude. I think I gave it a high score because I really wanted to like it. And I'm noticing what you guys are saying.
No, because at first glance, it aligns with the types of films that you really fuck with.
Yeah. But now I've developed a palette, and it's not as good as I hoped it was.
I feel like the rewatchability for this film is coming from needing to understand it better.
Yeah. Right.
Like if we hadn't had seen that whole other segment on what is it called? Like the how the black and white is time moving forward and the other one's time moving backwards, it would have taken me longer to get there. Yeah. And then towards the end when it like flipped colors and all that, I probably would have thought like, oh, I understand it now, but now I got to go rewatch the film.
That's not cool, man. Like that's not cool to have something for the sake of like this Chinese puzzle of like,
Yeah.
that ain't cool. Like, and it's not cool to like that's the only reason you want to rewatch it.
No,
it's
yeah,
cool
but
to
that's-
understand that a film needs
but-
multiple
but
rewatches, but I don't feel like I need to go back to this film to figure it out. I got it. Like,
No, but like
I got
like
it.
the
I got it,
Easter
Chris.
eggs, like,
Like, we're
just to-
good.
If anything to rewatch is just to catch like the Easter
Yeah,
eggs.
exactly.
Yeah.
Guess so. And I don't have an inkling to. I don't have an itch to go back and watch it anytime soon.
I would only want to rewatch it just out of respect for the project. Like,
Yeah.
Same.
we did watch it like on a double back.
I'm in the
fucking
same realm.
podcast
Yeah,
then
and I
this
do.
one.
Yeah, so that's fair, but it's also closer to like a Nolan. I don't know. This Nolan films feels too close to a Fincher situation.
Yeah.
And-
I see
Like,
it. Yeah,
and I think
definitely
we're a
see
little
it.
burnt out with Fincher, just a touch of like,
see
just
it.
like so much Fincher that I think this falls in that weird.
It's like
Because-
it's just coming to haunt you back. Just a little bit.
honestly, where he perfected, I think this whole time interlacing with itself thing is in Tenet, and I feel like Tenet is a much more compelling story. I think it's got a lot more to show for
Right.
it, and I love the way that film came out and how he matured as a director.
Yeah.
Compared to like this one, like at least for this one, I feel like it's confusing without having as much of a payoff. The other one, I feel like
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I
That's-
don't know. It's the
yeah.
payoff, I would say, is the right word. I
Yeah.
mean, that's yeah.
but
I'll be the first one to say it. I agree with Castro. I think it was a little too generous. I'd probably go
Yeah,
down to like a
man.
7.9.
I don't know why I went to 9.2.
Very happy to be at a 7.9 on this one.
I'm going. I'm going
7.8.
to his ceiling. 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, I'm still keeping my. my
You're 6.7.
What about you?
I'll say it an 8.5.
8.5.
I think
Definitely
also
worth
just
it.
because it's like you say a lot of people love it. It inspired them.
Real quick.
Kind of follow that.
Like I was talking about
Yeah.
the Oppenheimer, about the rewatchability. Why would you guys want to watch that if you already? What's the thing about what?
Oh,
you would-
Honestly, all right, going into
It's like-
Oppenheimer, I'll fucking pop off there.
Is it-
Yeah, yeah, for
That's
sure,
not
sure.
one of the picks. We already did it, right?
No,
Or-
it's
No.
gonna be one.
It is.
Unfortunately, so I'll keep it very
Did you
minimum.
say unfortunately?
Well, unfortunately for right now, because I really want to talk specifically about Gary Oldman's fucking performance. I think it was the most slept on shit in the entirety of
In
2024.
Oppenheimer?
In Oppenheimer.
Really?
Harry Truman. You see that guy? That's President Harry fucking Truman from 1945.
I like Gary
Nice.
Oldman better in Darkest Hour.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We gotta
With,
watch it again. And
Idris
also the
Elba?
moment. But anyway,
I thought Downey for me was the fucking
Yeah.
shit.
You know,
in
Downey was
Oppenheimer.
better.
I mean,
Josh Peck.
I don't know. But anyway, going to answer your question.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing that I really feel like is the importance of like rewatching the movies that you're really into is that you're picking like, okay, that scene made me feel something. And
Love
I need to
it, love
see it
it.
again so I can understand why
Sure.
it made me feel that.
Sure,
Because
sure,
the first
sure.
time you see it and you're like, whoa. And then the second time
I
you see it,
think
you're like,
a
wow.
lot
that's really
about
interesting.
That's a
that
good
in Oppenheimer.
answer.
I think a lot about that in the Einstein scenes.
Dude.
I think a lot about the Einstein scenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, the fucking
Yeah.
honestly, the bomb scene.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we should save the Oppenheimer. Dude,
Yeah,
that's gonna
we'll
be a
save
fucking
that
discussion,
episode.
but,
That's gonna be an
'cause, yeah, I'm a
episode.
big
We're
fan
all
of this
at the
film.
consensus for Memento. We don't think it's terrible. We think it's something worth watching, especially if you're a big Nolan fan.
Yeah.
Hey,
You gotta
especially
watch the origins.
The
right?
director of Memento, that kid's got something.
That kid might have something to say.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't experienced this film, go watch it. I don't think we spoiled too much if you haven't seen it.
No.
This for sure. If you want to be a screenwriter or an editor,
Sure.
you have to watch this. Like this
Yeah.
is a very challenging script to write
Right.
and understand, but at the same time execute. And then
It'll
also the
make
same
you
situation
think.
with editing. Yeah.
What's next week?
Next week we'll be covering The Prestige.
Another one. I hope it's good.
Same dog.
That's another one that a lot of people say is.
Yeah, it's
But
like
it's
they're-
like people even to this day are saying that.
But it's a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a,
That
it's
was my introduction. To
I'm gonna
Nolan.
do my absolute best to screen Insomnia also.
Same.
Just leading up to The Prestige. Just
You're gonna see
just to
how-
fuck around and see
yeah,
what's up.
it's good.
Let us know what you think of Memento. Let us know if we're full of shit and you love
Yes.
this film. And
feeling a
we'll
little
see what you guys
underwhelmed
think.
right
I'm
now.
very curious and excited to see what people think about
Yes.
our feelings regarding
Yeah.
Memento. Granted, again, it's everybody's first time seeing it in 2025, 25 years later, literally. Man, it's the 25th anniversary of this fucking
Damn.
film. And nobody made a splash about it. I'm just saying.
Damn.
Nobody said nothing.
Wow.
I haven't heard a single thing about Memento this year. And Dogma came out the same year, and that's getting more of a splash. Okay, so I don't know. That might be saying something. Let us know what you think about Memento and whether the trajectory of Chris Nolan was present or not.
Sir Christopher Nolan.
Sir Christopher Nolan. I love the Emma Thomas little cameo thing. The Emma's tattoos.
That
was cool. Yeah, Emma Thomas, Christopher Nolan's wife, partner.
Is she
producer.
ma'am Emma
The
Thomas?
wifey.
She is a knighted, I think.
Yeah, well, I don't know
or
the
not knighted,
term.
but maybe would it maybe
the same
knighted.
as the
the-
fucking
Yeah.
She got
She
the,
is. She is. Madam. She is
Sir-
Madam.
Madam.
She is Madam Emma Thomas.
Man, I'm Emma.
Goat
So
right
yeah,
there.
there's a little
Who knighted her? Who knighted them?
the king,
Which one though?
the Charles or whatever the fuck his name is.
Is that the guy that was caught up in the Epstein shit?
Darwin.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god.
This was recently. They only got knighted like I don't know 2
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. We'll talk about the Prestige. Let us know if
Yeah.
you like the Prestige. Let us know your thoughts on this. Let us know what you want us to cover or talk about during Christopher Nolan month.
Or just show us your tattoos.
Yeah.
Just show us your tattoos. Let us
Yeah,
know
sure.
your facts.
Just send us pics.
Honestly, yeah.
facts.
I got time.
Though. Facts. Though.
Before we sign
Facts.
off, can we
Any other fun facts?
Okay.
Nothing specific.
The tattoos were real.
Yep, they're
Nice.
totally
You
fucking
got
real.
him blasted off.
Not really. I mean, Nolan moved to LA to kind of get this picture done, and he's not from here, obviously. So he shot this in Southern California for the most part.
And he doesn't live in LA, right?
No,
Every time he just goes back.
He goes back to the UK, and yeah, fun stuff.
He doesn't want to get too
Before
Hollywood.
we sign off, CK.
What's up, CK?
Michael, you got to sign us off with one more last minute sponsorship.
Oh. What do we got up next, Michael?
When you've had
When Memento has confused you as much as it did me.
2 back-to-back episodes,
Yes.
and the last one was Nolan's film, Try Muse.
I love how fucking
It'll
crushed
amuse you like this
It'll-
film didn't.
At minimum, it'll give you 25 calories and no caffeine.
Well, that's why I did.
Hold on, and before we sign off, shark fact number 16.
Shark fact number 16
dear God.
is that though the great white shark is a big shark in films, and it just got shown again in Steven Spielberg's
Jaws.
50th anniversary.
50th
Yeah.
anniversary, the largest shark is the whale shark, recorded to be over 25 feet long.
Wow, thank you for that. That was really nice.
Pretty sure I'm going to need that in my life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need it'll come in handy. One day.
Bonus fun fact, I remember that growing up, the whale shark was my favorite animal. And I was like in, I think, the first grade or kindergarten. And one of the school assignments was, hey, everybody, act out your favorite animal. So, the kids are like, oh, I'm an elephant, and then the other ones are like, oh, I'm a bird. And then they're like, Michael, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, it's like whale shark. And
I remember my childhood. I probably beat you up in elementary school. I
and
probably
what's
beat the shit out of you.
See, I love those.
I'm a shark,
I
shark,
love
shark,
those
shark.
core memories because I also remember the teacher flunking me for that assignment, and then during
Michael,
parent-teacher
what is
so
conference,
you
shit.
weren't even a smart nerd.
yeah, no, and then like
Teacher was like, "Hey, moron."
no, and then I got the teacher saying that in the back of the classroom. No, I had those magazines like the Nat Geo ones. That's how I learned
I'm
about.
sure
like,
you did.
Yeah. So then I failed the assignment.
It's all making sense now.
And then parent-teacher conference rolls around, and then they're like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And it's like, "Oh, he's doing good. He didn't do good on a couple of assignments." Like, which one? He had to act like an animal, and he acted like a jackass. Like, I mean, it didn't work out.
Buddy,
You know?
I love you to death. You're one of my favorite people in the world. Becoming a filmmaker is the coolest thing you've ever fucking done.
Yeah, man.
Like you
Welcome to the
did
group.
right. You did right, homie.
Better than that juggling thing. You
Oh
did.
God! Real quick, bonus fun fact.
Two-parter.
You know what? I love the podcast and our crew and community because every time I come here, I feel like we all feel like film's cool. Like this is we're kind of doing the cool thing. Even when we talk to the UTEP students, oh, we got a podcast. Like, oh, what do you guys do? It's like, oh, we interview filmmakers.
I
and
can't
top
tell you
films.
guys how many times we've tried to bring in
Yeah.
college graduates or whatever, people who are trying to get their feet wet in film,
Yeah.
and we're just give them a tour. We
Yeah.
bring them by, and then in this very spot, Mike will present this place like. This is where we do it.
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
This is come,
Hey,
you
you've
want to
prob-
sit down in the
This is
special
where
chair?
the
Like you've probably seen me on the podcast. Whoa, really? to me, it feels really, really cool. But
Right. It is very cool.
we're gonna do the flashback to last week. I went to Dallas, and then I bumped into one of my buddies from high school.
Did you really?
Yeah, and like I like went to go see him, and it was like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, oh, it's good. I haven't seen you in ages, and
What have you been up to?
no, I was like, how's everything going for you? He's like, it's still good working with who's he with? I don't think it's Lockheed. It's anyway.
He's a
Yeah,
big engineer.
that's a big.
Yeah, he's working with a big corporation. I think it might be Lockheed. But he's working with them. He's in their finance department, so he's doing good. I mean, he like bought a new car, but like in cash. Like the guy's doing fine.
Right.
Balling.
So like it's funny because he's like, oh, I'm doing good. I just got back from like Cancun, a little trip. I just needed to get away for a while. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, making films. Yeah, he's like, and how's that going, buddy? And I'm like, it's great. Like, yeah, like we're like, I'm gonna have the actor dance. It's cool. And like, you know what? I froze up thinking like, oh my God, how do I make myself sound cool? Because
everybody was like, hey, moron.
yeah, no, because I feel like around all of us, like if we bring up a script idea, like, you know what, this is going to be my exploration.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Hell yeah.
Like
Hell
for
yeah.
us, like, no, this is an exploration of the old generation talking to the younger generation and trying to bridge the gap between two separate worlds, but living in the same place. And it'll be really cool and really exciting.
Right.
And then we talk to other filmmakers and they're
They love
fully
it.
on board.
Yeah.
And then we talk to him. It's like, yeah, and they like kiss and he's like, oh, and that's what happens in your story. And they talk to you like you just wrote in your journal. And I'm like,
were you wearing a hat?
Food?
huh?
Were you wearing a hat?
I was wearing this hat.
Did he take your hat off and just throw a couple bills in there? He's like, here you go.
Yeah,
kid."
no.
So how much money do
No,
you
and
need?
then it's funny because
I got lunch.
I like went to go. No, and then after I told him about how like good filmmaking's going, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy us dinner," and then I was like, "Thanks,
That's
man."
fucking amazing.
And then he's like, "But you could buy dessert," and I'm like, "What are you talking
You
about?"
can
And then
get anything you want, buddy.
no, yeah, and I was like,
You want to take
"Damn
a
it."
doggy bag home? I got you, dude.
Yeah,
That's-
I was. He's like, do you need more money?
Need
No,
gas
you,
money to
you
get
can
home.
refill that drink if you want.
Yeah, it's so.
But
They have
what's
free
great,
refills.
and you'll have juxtaposition moments like that, and then we just like yesterday have like Eller come pay
Yeah,
a visit
that's
and,
like-
and Kev,
Dude,
and be
hell
like,
yeah.
That's
talk
the
about
thing.
like, yeah, I just got back from seeing
And
Downey,
you know
and
what?
I just got back.
Again,
Like,
that's where I love our crew and
Exactly.
community because here we're like, oh yeah, let me teach you how to
Yeah.
do some film and
Yeah.
all that. And it's like, really, you got that tattoo? I'm like, yeah, because the movie. Like, and then he's like, and what
nobody
are the,
has said it, and we'll sign off with this, but nobody has said it better than Ricky. Explaining to somebody who doesn't do film what you do is like telling them you want to be a space cowboy. Like that's just it's just
I
a
just-
click,
really
and
shit.
that's fine. Like
Yeah, that's good.
But here we're cool, you're cool,
We love
and
you
we'll be
guys.
back next week.
Thank you for
love
tuning
it.
into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Love you guys.